Is anyone out there? Is anyone out there? Please, we need help. Almost out of food. I'm not sure how long we can keep them out. We need help.
Your eye keeps getting drawn to the planet that's actually way in the background of this shot. And occasionally as Rin comes around, parts of the planet are shown. And there's one piece that just kind of keeps popping up every time Rin makes another loop. A very large crater. You can see it from space. It's hard in the camera to really see, but with the two, you absolutely observe the fact that that's a fresh crater. It's not been covered by wear and tear. That is an impact crater, and you can see everything around it when the impact happened has died. And maybe that's what really you're drawn to, is like the rest of the planet has other coloring and things like that. But this crater, the making of this crater, affected thousands of miles around it. And you can see it from space. Panic sets in because you realize, Barden, you would smash a space station into a planet if it had Xenos on it.
I sure as shit would.
Is there a particular area you would like me to power? We will only be able to power certain sections at a time due to our limited battery supply and the size of the station.
Begin with engineering, the primary point of touchdown. We'd like to assess the situation there, so please report on environmental status of engineering.
I am running a program now to take control of all power inside of engineering. Please give me T-minus 1 minute and 37 seconds to process this request.
What is the ETA on camera status, Geppetto?
T-minus 2 minutes, though it does seem that many of the cameras have been damaged. We will have limited access based on what is currently connected.
Is there at least a single camera that still seems to be functioning?
It seems that I have access to 3 on this floor.
2 minutes before we have access to the cameras. That being said, we have been informed that the creatures are stirring due to an inevitable rise in heat in the temperature of the cabin.
Vince just sort of shoots a look at Rin.
Feeding in camera 2. Camera 2 seems to be placed at the far end of the reactor coolant plant that no longer has a purpose since this vestibule no longer has a reactor.
And as this camera comes in, it's kind of pieced at the back end of this reactor cooling area. And you see what you've been looking for. A nest. In fact, I don't know that you've ever seen a proper nest before. The floor has this kind of haziness over it, as if a natural fog in the atmosphere. Because this reactor coolant plant has not been active. Whatever was here has settled into almost a sleepy stasis. And you can see the walls move and undulate with the bodies of Xenos that roll out of a hibernated sleep as this space. And you can see it on the HUD in Monstro, the temperature rising. Just in general on the engineering deck, because it's stabilizing the environment. And as the temperature rises, more of these Xenos kind of crack out of their sleep, uncurl from the ceiling and the floor. Some of them go, and as they touch the floor, you can see the haze is about 2.5 foot or so deep. And as they cut through it, you can see the tops of the eggs all over the floor of the reactor coolant plant.
I look to Barden. This is the ideal setup.
That's a lot. I mean, if we drugged them, put them inside of a spacesuit, and just sort of like bring them along, they float. Eventually the drug will wear off. They'll wake up and be like, where the hell am I? And then obviously that will cause some commotion with the aliens, which will eat the face. And
is there no more humane way to do this? This is awful. We can't just these people.
I know what's going through your head, Rin. But is there a more humane way to feed a human being to an alien? I think inherently the answer is no.
Vince looks over at you, Rin, and you see that Vince has not made a single cut in the door yet, and he's sort of just staring at you. You see his hands are shaking. And
she goes off comms. What's going on?
Okay. We've come this far, so it feels really dumb to back out now, but something about the way that they're talking about this I didn't consider before.
I hear you. I'm feeling the same particular dilemma. I honestly was hoping they would be not awake at all, at all. That was my understanding, and I might as well just walk in there myself at this point.
We're not going to do that either.
Well,
there's a significant amount of silence on that line, Barden. What do you think that they may be speaking of?
Absolutely how best to transport the test subjects there. I'm lying to you, Kitchens. They don't want to do this, and they never have. And they're only doing it because they can't figure out a better way to kill aliens, except for one at a time, with a gun. That's usually how Rin kills anything, which makes sense for her line of work. So, it's that whole morality clause that I seem to have stripped away when faced with the inevitability of our fucking doom to aliens.
And the quiet comms remain quiet for probably 10, 12 more minutes before you get the notification that the hatch has closed and that you have been reboarded by Bessie.
Vince just rushes to go find wherever Ace is.
When you rush on board to go find Ace, what you find is Ace standing in a doorway, pointing a gun at the man that Rin woke up. He has been snooping about, and she caught him. Ace caught him. He specifically was attempting to tamper with the people in storage. You can see her hand is kind of shaking, and she's like, I don't want to have to do this. Just you have to wait here until they get back. And she's kind of holding him at gunpoint.
Reed, we just got back on board. I have no idea what's going on. But you cannot go off going after people like that. You want to talk about what's going through your head right now?
And he kind of shakes it off. He says, why are you doing that to those people?
That is a much longer conversation.
He says, well, I feel like all we've got is time.
Sort of. Now that we're back, we can have a conversation about it then.
He says, I can't let you do that to everybody else on this ship.
No, let's have a chat. Without guns and without putting in danger the crew. And frankly, your life as well. Because I woke you up for a reason. And this is not it.
The camera goes back to the loading dock where Bessie sits. And we see a man with special pants on, suiting up, putting on more pants over his pants. And he grabs some kind of piece of computer machinery and takes it on board Bessie with him. And Kitchens, I imagine you went back to the safety of your laboratory?
Yes.
You get a notification that the loading bay is ajar and that Bessie is being taken out.
Barden has connected.
Yep.
He has connected his PRPUT uplink terminal to Geppetto and is having Geppetto remote pilot Bessie over to the Sevastopol station for him. And he is dragging his green bag on board.
Geppetto basically uses the exact coordinates where they were and plug those back into remote pilot this vessel. It backs in, lights panned, and you see the same thing, Barden. This kind of massive collapse in space where an explosion happened, kind of took pieces out, but also bent the metal inwards. And you can see the door just there, about 5 or 7 feet in from the edge.
We never reviewed the third camera.
What did you discover, Geppetto?
Showing you the feed now.
As the third feed comes through, you see a space that's very clearly not on the same floor, either below or above, right? The engineering deck's multiple floors. And this camera feeds into a more open space, like some kind of big area, probably a cross path type place where a lot of people could come to and fro. And what you see are bodies of working Joes. Damaged, burned, laid about on the floor as if it was the remains of some kind of battle scene. And over time, the black sediment in the air has kind of settled, or the black flecks have settled, and you can see it's just kind of affected them over time. They become part of the ecosystem, these dead ones. And the camera captures 2 working Joes standing over the bodies of their brethren who have been here for a very long time, as if they walk through a graveyard. And their backs are to you, and they kind of look around as if they're trying to suss something out. And then one of them, as if it knows you're watching it, its head turns at an almost inhuman way, almost all the way around. And as it does, its beady red eyes pierce through the screen, and it looks right at you, Kitchens. And it walks over to the wall where it sees the camera, and it reaches up, and it pulls it from the wall. Do it. You're gonna be first
minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. I'm here to get eaten by aliens.
I was just saying Barden's first up, so by choice.
I am the appetizer, the spicy old hemorrhagic appetizer.
Served up in a brand new pair of pants.
Brand new pair of pants. You like eating steel? Well, check this out.
I'm afraid for all parties involved now.
Oh no.
No.
Yeah, buddy. If you guys like what we do here, especially that, and you want to support the channel, the best way to do that is over on our Patreon, link in the description down below. While you're down there, click on that Discord link, join us in the Discord, be a part of the community, and have a conversation about that and everything that just happened just now. As always, in the bottom right-hand corner, you will see the corruption bar. That bar serves two purposes. One is when that bar fills, Dot kills me in space. And two, every single dollar that goes into that bar goes back to these wonderful, amazing faces that you see here before you. And without further ado, I turn things over to our game mother, Dot. What's up? How's it going?
I'm going into my handy dandy corruption dice case.
No, I thought you lost those.
I still have two. I did not. I still have two little scullies from the past. Remember, I cannot. What did I say? I can't bank more than 6 at any one given time. So
that's what you said.
And I was true and honest to it in the first episode when that became relevant. I spent it immediately, as per the audience request.
You did.
Okay, so I'm not going to do a previously on because y'all just had a very intense voiceover run of what happened last time on. I will say this. We ended with everybody kind of splitting ways, having a moment in various different areas of, this ship and another ship, or what's left of this festival anyways. So I say we start with the man served up on a silver platter, cutting through, this wall. You have arrived, and you're going to open this thing. Am I correct?
Yeah. I think I was trying to remember. Did we see him actually start cutting? We just saw him with
No, you made both a successful comm-tech and a heavy machinery check, which means yes, you did in fact remove the debris and managed to open the door.
Yeah, and he is currently loaded with a bevy of weapons.
Yes.
Flamethrowers, rifles, grenades.
Okay, I'm going to say, even with your pants, you are going to take probably a -2 for all of this gear. There is a weight capacity to it.
You said that last time, but I reminded you that one of my traits is actually Pack Rat, which I can carry twice the normal amount.
I'm going to kill you so hard.
I have done the math on what the encumbrance level is and what I'm allowed to carry, and I am within range. He is stacked full of shit. He is not getting got by these aliens,
That's
not
okay.
this time.
That's okay. You know what, Mike?
Yes.
Chat has my back
Fuck.
in case I decide that I really need to.
Fuck.
I'm just gonna hold those right there.
Okay, so what I
okay.
will say, Dot, is he has cut through the bent, like, you know, station rebar, etc., and has made his way to the door. He's going to hack the door so it's functional.
You already have. That was the one success that you needed above for the Comtech check.
No, that Comtech was to have Mother pilot, or have Geppetto pilot the ship.
Oh, you're
for
right.
me.
Pilot the ship. You're right. Okay, yeah. Then I do need a You're through the debris, but you're not into the door. You're right.
So I do not want to open the door, but I do
just
want to
gain
make
control.
it accessible.
Absolutely.
Dice be favorable. Chat. Fuck. Okay, so one panic isn't atrocious.
Go ahead.
Oh, thank God! I don't know how you roll a 0, but I'll take it.
You can't roll a 0?
Oh, you can roll a 0 because I.
Oh my God.
I have nerves of steel, which gives me a -2 on all panic rolls.
You rolled a 2, and okay.
Yeah.
In a moment when
Take
any
that, mechanics.
normal human being would be nervous and sweating and breathing heavy through the helmet of this suit, sweating in a pair of special metal pants, not Barden. Even with the chunky fingers and the gloves having to be worn, it's a very simple, as if he has purpose. And he boop, boop, boops. And there's a moment as you see the screen on whatever you're plugged into. I'm sure you have a
He's got a whole like
piece of
laptop
tech.
thing.
Yeah, you've got like a tech thing that you use. And as you plug in and you do the thing and the screen pops up that you have gained access, there is a moment, just a moment, Barden, where your heart jumps into your chest. As if you were to panic. But you realize how close you are all of this time that you have spent. You're so close to finding a solution. No matter the cost. You have gained control of the door. What do you do?
I think we would hear like Barden again, as any normal person would be shitting their pants. In the same vein, Barden is just scatting, and he's just like Scooby-Doo, as he's like punching through this as if it's like a regular day, digging in the mines for rocks
in
for
the
science.
Office, yeah.
As he's just like he's having like, you know, flashbacks of like mining geographical formations and like pulling rocks out, like moving the fucking space debris out. And as soon as he gains control of the door, I imagine he will leave whatever's connected there, like whatever he has to gain control. He'll like leave it there, like strap it in some capacity to.
I imagine there's got to be some kind of magnetic bottom or something. This is built for space. It's fucking sci-fi. It mounts to the wall via a magnet because that makes sense to my brain hole.
So he mounts it there, and then he just like slowly starts to drift back to Bessie on the tether that he has, pulling himself back into the thing. He's going back. His job was to open the door. His self-appointed job was to open the door, and that door is ready to rock and roll. So he is moving back to Bessie, still as he slowly makes his way back.
Barden.
Scatman Crothers over here.
As you make your way back. You can't hear it because there is no sound in space.
Fuck off, Dot.
But we watch as the massive circular steel handle on this door that can be unlocked manually from the inside just begins to turn. All we see, staring at Barden as he's just is the handle slowly unlocking. Now that it has been unlocked, of course. Barden, you make it back to the ship.
That's such a long pause, Dot, or I expected
what
more.
would you like? What would you like to do?
I was waiting for you to, and the ship falls apart.
Good. I want that for us.
Yeah, I think he just slowly like slides in and floats over to the pilot seat, and like presses the close button, and then hits on the ship comms, like the internal ship comms. He's like, Geppetto, go ahead and take us back. Boop.
As you hit the boot, and the ship runs the cycle, screens, flip, button, cool as a cucumber. The door, where you've cleared the debris, swings open. And as it does, for just a moment, there is a figure standing there in a jumpsuit, gray coloring all over this humanoid body, but not human by any sense of the word. And the vacuum of space does what it does. And you see him kind of begin to fight against it and pull against the vacuum of space as the door is opening up. And he grabs a hold, and you watch as his hand kind of crunches steel as it begins to pull itself out.
Is the ship moving?
Yeah, it's beginning to kind of take off. It's undocking, right? Because you have to latch to it in some way. So the exterior latch is like letting loose, and it's like booting up.
Yeah. I hate this. I will I will open the comms. My intention is to open them up to just Kitchens, but I don't know where Kitchens is inside.
Perfect. Well, then that sounds like a camera cut. What has Kitchens been up to? So Kitchens, the last we saw you, you were very upset. If a synth can feel, what and how and where did you go when you stormed off?
Kitchens went back to his lab, and I think that camera, as it sort of turns back, as it washes from like the blackness of the wall over to like the singular light that's lit in his lab, Kitchens is sitting in front of it's like one of those aluminum surgeon's trays, right, that have tools inside.
Yeah, sure, like a sterile tray. Yeah.
This sterile tray has 6, probably 7 of these adrenalizers. It's syringes. The pump to kind of awaken these people that he's intending to kind of push through this into the vestibule.
Okay. And they're laid out, I imagine, perfectly spaced.
Yes.
On this tray in front of you. And they're fully prepped. Off probably just to the side is the room that you have them stored in.
Yeah, if there's one small caveat, just as an addendum to kind of mark it, and I think it's more of a visual thing for those that are listening. There's 7, and 6 of the 7 are like perfectly spaced apart. But when you look to that final one at the very top, it has deliberately been turned to just mark a break in the pattern.
It sits askew from the rest. What does Kitchens do? You have a moment of peace, probably for the first time.
Kitchens is aware that he left, right? I believe we last discussed that. Is Kitchens aware?
You didn't. He didn't tell anybody.
You are aware that the door opened and that Bessie has taken flight.
Left, but you don't know. You don't know who it is.
But that's true. I haven't heard from Ren or Vince yet either. Then I think Kitchens will grab the sterile tray, and he will move to where he's stationed these people in the hold.
Yeah, and the hold is sealed. There's no sign that there was maybe a struggle here between Ace and the Colonial Marine who was trying to kind of tamper. Actually, that's not true. You can make an observation check.
I will.
As soon as I opens my mouth, I backtracked. I was like, nope, that's actually, yeah. You have been studying and set this space. It is just like any other of your workspaces. It's immaculate to your standard and to your programming standard. And you can see where somebody tried to take some piece of metal, like maybe a crowbar or something makeshift, and jam it into the airtight door to pry it open with no success. And corruption to go with my corruption.
He will. Can I bank one of these dice for later observation?
Yeah, you have quite a few. Let's see. Actually, you can probably ask some questions as well, Bub. Let me see here. Where is my basics? My basics table. This will tell me that you can do a few things. Yeah, you'll be able to ask some questions.
Sure.
So you can basically you needed 2 successes, so you have 4 in addition. That's a very good roll.
Who has access? First question: who has access to firearms aboard our vessel?
Probably only those in which you have said can have access to.
So Ren for certain. I know Barden has a firearm. Vince, I don't know if Vince does or not. I think he might. Is anyone near? Based on signs of scuffle, tussle, what can I determine outside of the damage to the tent that was built?
You can tell that there are some boot scuffs on the floor, so there was at least a little bit of a struggle, even if it was, you don't know, there's no signs of blood, so you can't imagine blood was drawn.
Okay.
So probably some light hand-to-hand, and she was holding him at gunpoint, so you imagine she got the upper hand, and he didn't get the gun. Where she got it, you don't know. Where if he had it, you don't know.
Okay, there's no blood, so nobody's immediately injured.
And it doesn't look like anything is broken. Like you can even check the HUD. It tells you that everything is still stable. This you built this to be an isolated scientific project, which means it's very secure. You built it to be that way, and with basic tools, he wasn't going to break in. We're talking like magnetic locks. You know what I mean?
I would briefly ask Geppetto to inform me of the individuals that were last seen in hold.
Sure. Geppetto says,
the last 2 people seen in the laboratory and near this hole was Ace and our newest crew member.
That's concerning.
He calls himself Colonial Marine Reed. It seems that he and Ace had a struggle.
And I know that he came from the previous individuals. So I think he's going to take one of these plungers and remove the adrenalizer, and he's going to pull back enough air, so that he could potentially cause embolism, something that could harm or kill another individual, if needed be.
Cool. And we see you kind of draw up this air, and as you're doing it, your comms go off in the laboratory. It is Barden.
I turn to my comms.
Hey, buddy. We got a bit of a bad time. I'm out in space by myself. Yeah, I stole the ship. I stole a little guy, and I opened the gate. Obviously, I didn't open it because there's aliens in there. That'd be ridiculous. But I hacked into it, and Synth opened it up. A grumpy gray little guy with the red eyeballs. Yeah, no, that's why I'm calling. I'm leaving. I'm in a ship. I'm headed back. It's just going slow. He's just looking at me real grumpy, like.
Do you look in the rearview mirror? Or do you like, I guess there's a rearview mirror, objects in mirror closer than they appear kind of a vibe?
Yeah, Dot, because in space
Yeah.
you need rearview mirrors.
Yeah, absolutely. The space equivalent of a rearview mirror, when you look back, the backup camera, you see, you kind of see on this tiny HUD screen probably, that the vacuum of space have sealed itself off. More than likely, when he broke the seal, the next internal door dropped. And you can now see him push himself out into space. And following him are two more.
Okay, scratch that. He has subsequently launched himself into space, and I think he's attempting to go ahead and swim through it. He's got two friends along with him, so that's the bad news. The good news is the interior door has sealed itself shut, and bad news, bad news sandwich, as they say. That means we'll have to enter the tunnel to unseal the next door, thus putting us physically closer to aliens than we previously intended on being. More importantly, there's three red-eyed synths trying to probably kill me, I guess.
I immediately cue to Geppetto to relocate the destination of the Monstro. Even if for only briefly we need to change trajectory and location by 30 yards. And I will cue to Barton. Circle the Monstro. My out-of-game logic, they can't air jump. So if they're going in a single direction, they're going to keep going in that direction unless something stops them.
Yeah, absolutely. And you make
Your mother
you make a
voices
call
on.
based. Yeah. Oh.
Thank you. You make a call based on the information that you have, and Mother begins to relocate the vessel. It takes a second, everything, and you just make the call. Barden, what you continue to see in your rear cam, we'll call it, is that as they kind of launch themselves out, they kind of bound off some of the debris left behind, and they aim to grab hold of the hull. And they began kind of crawling along the hull of what's left of this spire, and they seem to be headed to the bottom. They're climbing down. They're
not at me?
They have not like launched at you through space. They've launched out to get a handle on the exterior of the spire.
Okay, so two things. One, I don't know if they're actually flying out of here to kill me. They seem to be, you remember those old animes that we used to watch? There's like a Spider-Man. They're climbing down on the outside of the Sevastopol. One, that's number one. And number two, I don't actually know how to pilot the Bessie here. I've actually hacked into Geppetto and given controls to Geppetto, and I think he's got me on just a one-way, straight line course of action here. So,
if there was ever an opportunity to relieve stress by bringing up anime, that was it. But then somehow you managed to lose it immediately by saying that you have no idea what you're doing. So thank you for that. That was exceptional. In a state of frustration, Kitchens will seek out the other individuals in charge. He's going to look for Ren and for Vince.
Sounds like it's a camera cut. Ren,
So happy to be here.
you cut into a small room. It's just a bunking station that you all have set up. And Colonial Marine Reed sits on the bed in front of you. He doesn't even address you as like a soldier because he's kind of given up on that lifestyle when he got arrested. And he leans over on his knees and his head's kind of hung. And he just kind of sits there for a second in silence.
This after or before Bryn has explained everything about the space beast and the whole situation that led them there?
So that's probably after, right? He sits there and listens to everything and he takes it all in. And when he's done, you can see the weight of everything that you've said. And he says, I want to believe you. But, I mean, I've seen some shit. I was killing bugs before I ended up on that space station.
I know it's a lot, and I don't want to say you have to believe it because that's up to you.
And what? You just want me to be okay with us sacrificing a bunch of people, good or bad? That could have been me. The only reason it wasn't is because you chose to not make it.
Yep, and that is why we came back to the ship, and the whole situation's gotten out of hand. So I was planning on having a conversation, but then I saw the whole you attacking a
I was just
pregnant
trying to let
woman.
him out.
So,
Nobody deserves to be treated like an experiment.
well, there's a problem with letting them out at this point because right now they're highly contagious, as to my understanding, medically speaking. So just letting them out, you'd end up just causing the deaths of everybody else on the ship as
Then
well,
do the right
including
thing and put
yourself.
them out of their misery.
Right. That is certainly something that we need to have a conversation with Kitchens about.
And
What I
who
was
is this
trying to do.
Kitchens? Why does he want to sacrifice these people?
Well, we think we have a way of stopping, the thing that's been killing everybody, but unfortunately, he says we can't.
So
No.
we have to put these people in this situation so that we can make right something that I ain't ever even seen.
I guess. I mean, you're always welcome to come with us aboard if you want to have a look for yourself, but I can promise you that the likelihood of your surviving is incredibly low.
Oh, they told us that every time I jumped off one of them damn ships on a surface somewhere.
Well,
And I'm
hey,
still
you know what?
here.
You might be more badass than I could give you credit for. I ain't seen you in action.
He stands up and he goes, I don't give a fuck about being badass. He's like, I left it for good goddamn reason. He's like, but you know what? I don't even know where I am. You woke me out of some prison cryo sleep into a scientific vessel that's doing human experiments to kill some space beast that I've never even seen. And I'm supposed to just believe you and suit up and be a soldier again. I don't know if I can do that.
Okay. Well, given the options, what would you prefer to do then?
Were you asking me what I want to do?
Yeah,
Well, I want to make sure those people aren't suffering.
I agree. And as of right now, I know that they are not. That I can assure you. That
Did
was
you
a
see what he did to them bodies?
Yeah, but they weren't alive.
But they were when all of that shit grew out of their face, cracked open their skull, grew out of them like a terrarium.
Right. I'm not a doctor, so I don't know how to explain the
Yeah, no, I'm
science
not a
and
doctor either, but I can look at that and tell you it ain't humane.
but they're not aware or feeling of it. I don't know how to explain that to you other than that was particularly important to us.
Why are you
Believe
standing
me when
up
I
for
tell
him?
you, because when you go through this long a life with very few people that have been through what we have seen, you try to stay loyal as best you can. And it's important to see this through. I know you don't believe me about any of what I said. And again, I don't expect you to because it sounds, well, completely fucked up. But I can tell you I'm not just making it up. So either you can maybe take one of our ships, one of the smaller ships, and you can leave if that's what you want to do. You can come on board with us and see for yourself what we done and why we're doing what we're doing. Or I guess you could hang out here and continue believing whatever it is that you want to believe.
It's not like you're giving me much of a choice. I'm all but a prisoner.
Well,
But I
the point
appreciate the offer to take one of your ships, though I wouldn't even know where to go. I don't even know where I am. So I'm gonna make you a deal. And he kind of looks you up and down. He's like, you were a marshal, right?
Yep,
Worked outside the military.
yep.
But you got your own code, right? Your own code that you live
Of
by.
course.
All right. You have to promise me those people won't suffer.
Okay. I'll make sure myself that they don't.
He puts his hand out and he says, "Deal."
He shakes his hand.
And you make a deal that these people will not suffer. And
Yep.
tensions rise. And Rin, you feel the you feel the monstro shift as if it's going to take off. It's you're in movement in essence. And then the camera cuts over to the private quarters of Ace and Vince. Pulled in here after she was quite shaken by having to hold this colonial marine hostage while all of you were off ship. And if we remember correctly, the reason Vince is here at all is because he returned, ready to cut open this vessel, and he changed his mind. He needed to come back and speak to Ace. And now you have your chance.
Vince offers Ace a cup of tea that he made in the
He
time
nods
that
like,
they've
yes.
over here.
Yeah, yes, please. He said that would be
And,
nice.
As it finishes and he walks over the cup to her and he has his own, he sits down at the table and he says, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm fine, just another day in space holding a man hostage because he was trying to break into a laboratory where we're using people as experiments. So, not the worst day I've ever had. You could tell she's trying to find, she's an optimist. She's trying to find optimism in what is obviously a really bad situation.
Okay. And then how are you really doing?
Well, really, I'm questioning how far we're all willing to go and if it's really dangerous for us to, even be this close to the beast. Is it even worth it? Should we just maybe, pack our bags, take a ship, find a colony station? That's how I'm doing.
And Vince will just kind of like wrap an arm around her shoulder and give her a hug.
And she
just
leans
say,
into it. She finds comfort in it. And she says, "You've been so busy. I haven't really had the chance to tell you. You seem very dedicated to this cause."
what I'm dedicated to is protecting us.
You- She looks you dead in the eyes and she says, "Then why are we here?"
This is the solution that Kitchen's found. And every step along the way, it was convincing enough that we could use humans for this, but I know that I can't do that now.
Well, what are you gonna do now?
I'm going to talk to Kitchens and see how we can not do this. I don't know what condition those people are in. That's going to change a lot. If they can be, I never looked in there. He never wanted us to.
That the closest I got was when I was tracking Reed. He was being very suspicious. I picked up on it. He didn't really give me any mind, but anyways. We put up a fight until I pulled a gun, and then he seemed to be pretty smart. I don't think he really wanted to hurt me.
Talking to him. Yeah, I have confidence that she'll, handle everything with him, but
I don't think our human popsicles landed well with him.
yeah.
So what now? We just wait for somebody else to do it? Are we going to leave?
I don't know. I need to talk to Kitchens. We need to figure this out. As far as I'm concerned, the biggest threat to us has been the thing that has been the threat to us since the beginning. The threat to Alexandria since the beginning. And be honest, it's not the beast. It's all those corporations, those other humans, things that could control it, sure, but the same people that murdered everyone on our old station.
She kisses you very deeply and she says, I'm glad you finally figured it out. She says, I can't even look out the window at Sevastopol. I was there. I can't believe that's all that's left of it.
Yeah.
She says, we can fight beast by beast.
When we look out the window, do we see Bessie?
You're under. Remember, y'all parked at the bottom.
Okay. Oh, that's
so
fair.
you
Okay,
don't.
yeah,
you
yeah.
don't currently.
Right. Yeah. I was like, she's like, that's Bessie. What's
that's
that?
Barnett.
Okay.
No. And she says,
Okay.
I was there. I know what that thing can do. But in the end, it wasn't the space beast that burned Station Alexandria or let the Sevastopol rot away in space or wiped other places out of existence entirely to just pretend it never happened. The space beast is only a weapon. The question is who's wielding it. And I'm just glad to hear that maybe you have broadened your perspective on the horizon.
Kind of ironic then that in order to stop a weapon from being used, we were going to kill people.
A weapon is just an object until somebody picks it up.
If I know I wasn't really I'm sorry that I wasn't really around a lot or checking in much at all.
It's okay.
over
I've
the
just spent a
last
lot of
week.
time throwing up, so it's all right.
I'm sorry. I will be around now. I was something else that has been another thing, another factor has been all of these well, synthetic people like Hitchens and David and
I heard they like
Bishop.
to be called artificial persons.
Right.
I don't know. I have never really been around a lot of them. Kitchens is the one I've spent the most time with. But they're designed to be helpful.
Yeah.
So I understand. Kitchens is programmed to see the outcome, not the process necessarily in between. But I have a feeling that maybe you can help him find his humanity.
Hopefully I can help, but it's ultimately not my responsibility. It's all of us. And
I know.
Kitchens,
It's
he
true.
makes his own choices too.
Yeah, but what are friends for if they can't help you see new perspectives and grow and be better?
Yeah. Vince will stand up and he will say, I'm going to go find Kitchens or Ren, whoever I can find first.
She says, I guess I'm going to go. Oh, and she goes, oh, I'm late. I have to go teach class.
Okay.
And she kisses you on the cheek and she says, see you at dinner.
Right.
And as the door opens and she steps out, you feel the vessel, that same like shift. And Rin, the camera cuts back to you and there's a knocking on the door. Kitchens, do you know she was with him, right? Or did you not know that?
I did not know that.
Oh, okay. Then you are on the hunt for Rin. You don't see her in the hallway. She's not in her bunk, and Bessie's missing.
Okay. I would probably ask Geppetto to identify the location that Vince and Ren were last seen.
Mother.
Vince is in his personal quarters, and Ren has taken up inside of Colonial Marine Reeds. current quarters.
Okay. Geppetto, can you alert Vince and Rin to find me in the laboratory?
Of course.
Instead of doing the hunt, I'll just go back to the lab.
Rin, Kitchens has requested you to come to the lab.
Copy that.
Vince,
Read.
I am sorry to interrupt your personal time in your quarters, but Kitchens has requested your attendance in the lab.
Thank you.
Just in time, she says, as she kind of turns and goes to teach the final class of the day to the kids between their shifts on the vessel. And I'm guessing the two of you go to seek out Kitchens. And as we see both of you come into the hallway and almost convene, headed that direction to the laboratory, the camera cuts to Barden's little ship. It's making its way kind of southwardly, like to the bottom of the crooked angled spire that's left of the Sevastopol, where the Geppetto is hooked. And because Barden cannot fly this thing and has programmed it, it can only go from point A to point B. So it is going to take you into that back door of the monstro, one way or the other, because that is where it's trying to park you. So they can either leave without you and you'll have to manually fly it in, or they can wait for your return. It's up to you, Barden, but it's going to take you probably 2 minutes or so to get back. And you can see that these creatures, you think you were kind of ahead of them and had lost them, and now these synths with red eyes come kind of around a piece of metal, and they kind of rip it off as they move down the surface, crawling like ants or bugs.
I don't know that the Monstro is moving or is planning to be moved, because I imagine that tugboat of a ship takes a little bit of a time to spin up and start moving.
Yep.
So he's completely unaware that they may move, and the destination point in space may just be a point in space.
Correct. That's basically what might happen.
Yeah. Do the synths? They're still not actively coming towards me.
No, they're just crawling down. Now you're probably 100 or 200 feet out from the ship, right? And traveling southward the same direction they are, but they're crawling like behind you on the ship. You have some distance between them.
Okay.
It seems that maybe they're not. Actually, you know what? You can make a wits observation check or wits survival. I'll take either.
Great. I have a question. I would like to roll observation. However, can I roll analysis? You roll observation to gain insight regarding strange and alien artifacts or creatures that you encounter.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Great.
Absolutely.
Let's see what happens here. One success.
These, you've never seen one, you know of them. These are called working Joes. They are synthetics that are manufactured literally for a single purpose, which is usually work and manual labor to take place of humans needing to do it. Sevastopol, I don't know how much Barden would know about. Well, you read the same notes. Sevastopol, in essence, used a lot of them near the end before the events that took place with Amanda Ripley.
Yep.
You know that they're not supposed to have red eyes.
Can I determine,
they look like they need some upkeep.
Can I determine, based on the previous information I have about the what are we calling them? The untethered synthetic persons from Arceon, about the red eyes? Like, obviously the red eyes means they're malfunctioning, but the way they're behaving, can I kind of correlate that there may be some sort of...
You can roll a observation check, and I may be able to fill you in on that information.
Great. 0 successes. You know what? I'll push it. I'll push it real good.
Don't you take a stress when you fail? You're a scientist, right?
No, everyone else
does. Okay.
Everyone else gains reduces the stress.
When you succeed. Okay,
yeah.
But nothing happens when you fail.
Nothing that I have copied down here. I'm pretty sure.
Cool,
that's
perfect. Then I trust you on that front.
I will take a stress and re-roll though. So 1 success.
Okay. This observation tells you that basically they seem to be headed for the Monstro. Barden, you're a scientist. Anytime you have a locked space, it is a contained ecosystem. When something changes that, usually it will affect things like in it and around it. And the fact of the matter is, this place had no power, which means, because you had all looked at the layout, that the manufacturing warehouse that is on the top, the very, very tip top, has not had power in a long time, which is telling you why they look like they're in such a disheveled state. They're missing pieces. Parts are showing and barren, and they clearly, an eye socket kind of drooping. They need repair. And you brought the first generator in 60 years.
Yeah. Okay. Two things, Dot. One, Bard is gonna look at the myriad buttons and levers and knobs that is the control panel of the ship, and just try to determine which one makes it go faster.
You have this. So right now you have this on an autopilot.
Yeah.
Okay, which means you're gonna have to take it out of autopilot and make a piloting check.
Yeah, which I can take it out of autopilot from my device, but I want to identify which one is the go fast button.
That is still a piloting check.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you a piloting roll.
Okay.
Sweet Mother Mary, hell yeah! What's the button, Dot?
It is the big green button to the right next to the steering shaft.
Okay, great. It's got like a zoom symbol on it.
Yeah.
And the second thing,
shaft a lot on this channel. I just want y'all to know that.
So much. And then I'm gonna come over the comms directly back into the lab, regardless of who's there.
Hey, buddy. Turns out I may have been incorrect in my previous trajectory of where the working Joes seem to be going. I think good news is they are leaving me and the Bessie alone. Bad news is that they seem to be directly coming towards you guys.
They're probably following you.
And to couple onto that bad news, when the first one sort of launched himself out of the ship, he did crunch the entire metal frame of the door, which leads me to believe that, ipso facto, they may be able to rip a hole in the side of the hull, which could cause depressurization at a catastrophic level. So, still floating back to you. How's it going?
Geppetto, it is imperative that the working Joe units from the Sevastopol do not board the Monstro. Are we understood?
Understood. How would you like me to keep them from boarding the Monstro?
Continue maintaining, at this pace, circling the Sevastopol unit.
We're undocking now. We should be able to catch orbit in T-minus 3 minutes.
Did I hear you just tell the ship to move?
Barden?
Yeah.
I think it's important for you to maintain your pace. If they seem to be following you, you should probably consider what it means if you stop. Continue floating, so long as you have functional air.
Yeah, the destination that I'm currently set to is a fixed point in space, which is the ass end of the Monstro. But I did just happen to navigate, which is the go fast button here in the Bessie, so I can at least continue to go straight for, until my fuel runs out or I die. Or both, at the same time.
Are they following you,
yeah.
Well, they seem to be climbing like the aforementioned Spider-Man across pieces of debris and sort of launching themselves through space, like a cat from a tree.
Then they're trying to find their way aboard the vessel.
Yeah, towards your vessel. Yeah, towards the Monstro.
The Monstro will be moving in 3 minutes. We will circle the Sevastopol unit, and I've encouraged Geppetto to understand that no working Joe units from the Sevastopol are to aboard this vessel.
You have power cables directly connecting you through the ship. They drilled them into Sevastopol.
I'll expedite this process.
Alrighty. I'm gonna float straight, so.
Barden, are you going to keep it on autopilot?
Yeah, he's gonna keep it on autopilot until such time where he does not need to.
Okay. If they don't move, you will arrive at your autopilot destination in T-minus 2 minutes.
Great.
If they move, it's going to take you to that destination, or you will need to manually pilot into the bay.
Great. I will go to that destination and we'll see what happens when we get there.
I was about to say, we're going to hope that they don't move this ship.
Yeah, we're going to hope that it takes them more than 2 minutes to get that ship up and running.
Ren and Vince, you arrive just in time as Kitchen clicks the comms off. He was clearly talking to Barden.
Kitchen, we have quite a few things to discuss, but where's Barden?
Barden has absconded from the Monstro with your ship.
Oh, I'm gonna kill him. If
What's
he
he
doesn't
doing?
die out there, I'm gonna kill him myself, I swear.
What's he doing, Kitchens?
I believe he's attempting to portray himself as a hero, and I think that's going to fail. He's now being chased by working class Joe unit, synthetics.
He opened the ship?
He opened the ship.
Okay.
Okay.
The working Joe unit synthetics are equipped in different means than I am. They are meant to be quite a bit stronger. They are to lift. They are to do all of the things that most of humanity cannot do. Though I believe that they are functionally broken. They wish to be repaired. Under most circumstances, this is what they are programmed to do. They will be coming here. The monster will be moving in 3 minutes to circle this festival so that they cannot get here.
Our cable, we're connected to power.
Which is why we have 3 minutes to move the bodies.
It will take you at least 1 minute to get in your suit.
And Vince says, move the Okay, wait. Let's worry about the bodies later. We need to disconnect the ship. I'm going to go up there.
I'll go with you.
You both quickly put your suits on, suit up, and crawl up through the ventilation shaft. It takes you about 1 minute total of Kitchens wanting to leave in 3. And you can see the cables will need to be decoupled. So I need somebody to make a, I would take a heavy machinery or stamina check if you're just trying to rip it clean.
Stamina. Oh, I see stamina. Okay. I could roll. I could roll stamina. All right. Oh boy.
Cool.
Now, I also have nerves of steel, so usually I am not prone to panic, except for right now.
Except for right in this moment.
Yeah.
The 7 is a nervous twitch. Your stress level and the stress level of all friendly PCs in the area, so Ren included, increases by 1. You can see his face thing is beginning to fog from his nerves and his sweat. His hand is shaking. And he reaches for the cables, and for whatever reason, he can't steady his hand enough to actually pull it clean.
The
Ren.
slime.
Yeah, as you reach, you can see the black goo has almost connected itself now to your cables. It's grown out from the bottom of the vessel, and he can't bring himself to touch it. Ren, you are welcome to make. I still need 2 successful stamina and or heavy machinery checks to pull these free.
Got it. As I am doing this, I'd like to kind of 2-part this. I'll do as I'm doing the effort. Ren is basically going to be trying to counsel Vince. It's one of my skills, my talents to help reduce his stress, but just like trying to get his mind off of it and be like, all right, do you have a chance to talk to Ace? How's she doing?
Yeah, I did. We need to decouple those. My hands keep slipping.
I got it. It's okay. I got it. Hey, take a deep breath. Just look at me. Deep breath. What are you going to do when she goes into labor? You have to be calm.
Wait, okay, hold on. Wait, that's supposed to make me calm? Okay, hold on.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, it is.
Just disconnect the cables. Okay,
This is easier.
let me wipe off my gloves.
And Ren, as his stress makes yours go up by 1, your counseling, your kind words, your distraction makes his go down by 1.
All right.
There's the 2 successes.
I will say you grab one by both arms and we watch Ren yank them free. And as it does, you watch the black, viscous, organic material almost like stretch like string cheese before it snaps free from whatever above. And you know what? I'm just
Of course you are.
sitting on one of these. I'm just sitting on one today. So as Ren, you reach up and you pull these free, you see the arm of a black creature reach out from the organic matter as it tries to grab your hand. I will let you make a mobility check to avoid being grabbed.
Perfect. I love it. Let's go. 1 success.
Great. I will let both of you take a panic as soon as it drops, and you're kind of laughing, Vince. This arm like jolts out, and a Xeno hand attempts to grab Ren.
Take a stress, you mean?
Yes. Each of you will take a stress.
Okay.
All right.
And as it you can hear it down there trying to get to you. Ren, you drop the 2 cables that are now free floating, and both of you, I imagine, hightail it back to. And what you see is that a second arm breaks free and it begins to tear the organic matter. And you can't hear it, just like Barden couldn't see the door open in space. But the kind of cranial skull of a Xeno pierces through, almost too much like giving birth, as it kind of screeches into space. As both of you are just, do either of you look back?
Yeah, Vince does, yeah.
Okay, great.
Absolutely.
Anybody that makes
get onto our ship.
I was about to say, yeah, make a mobility check. Right. It seems to be kind of stuck. It's like it's trying to rip itself free.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Listen, buddy, you can't be doing this shit.
We're running from a Xeno, so I think I'm gonna push.
Push it. Oh shit!
Oh boy. All right, and here's my push. Wow.
All right, I need both.
Gets her wish.
Both of you to roll panic check. Something about just okay. Ren, take another point of stress.
Okay.
You do as well. Vince stops just for a second. He has to look back, and maybe Ren, you grab him, you try to pull him forward, and it stops the both of you. As you look back, you can see this creature, dead silent in space, just screeching. The kind of like a tongue like thing that comes out with another mouth is like biting at space air as it's trying to tear its way free and drop out of the literal bottom point of this ship. It seems to be stuck and it's struggling to get out, but it's enough to make both of you panic. And Vince trips just a little bit, and the metal boots are heavy, and both of you kind of fall to your knees in your suits because your feet are locked by magnets. As both of you have to get back up and continue running. You make it to the hatch.
Ren cues overcomes. All right, we got to move right now. There is about to be a unwelcome guest on top of our ship.
Can I get a biometrics reading on everyone?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We can say you're at like a HUD and you pull up everybody. So the 2 in the suits, you can see both of their heart rates are amplified, and it has spiked in the last like minute. Your 3-minute mark. Yeah, basically, their heart rate is is fast. Vince is actually beating faster even than Ren's is. But they seem unharmed, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Their body signs. Now, as for Barden, did you put something like in his pants so you can track his well-being?
1,000,000%.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I don't even want to ask if he consented to that.
I'm sorry, I almost never say this. Someone quote that, please.
1 million. He's letting me practice drugs on him. He's the perfect test for this.
So you open up the program that you've not even been able to run yet to see if it works. You only know it in theory will work. And sure enough, Barden has no clue that you put basically a tracker, a body tracker in his pants, and it boots up and it shows you Barden is chill as a cucumber. His heart rate is pretty normal for a man his age. Maybe a little elevated, but nothing like Ren and Vince's. And he's A-okay.
His heart rate's elevated, but you also see that the servos in his legs are working. So you can only assume he's either doing squats or yoga or some sort of dance
dancing, tapping. Yeah, there's movement in his legs.
Is that really like would I assume, would Kitchens assume that that's a nervous thing?
No. No.
It's just a boredom thing.
Yeah. Boredom. I was about to say boredom, like tapping of the foot, or maybe like to the music that he's humming. Who knows? But
the only concern he has is that, like, I hope you don't move before I get there. The robots aren't coming for me.
I would like to meet Rin and Vince in airlock.
Okay.
I've been saving some things literally since season 1. I spent all of my money on it. It's nap relief. It's nap relief.
And you run down with 2 nap relief in hand, and you see the both of them probably come through as gravity takes hold and slams the upper lid on the ceiling that has like a ladder that goes to it closed, and the thing spins shut, the metal, and that you can see Vince's face thing is all fogged up from sweat. They're both like panting. Yeah.
I'll assist them in the removal of, helmets and the upper body portion, and it's gonna be like running through the rudimentary command of like breathe, relax, stretch, and he'll drop the plunger in some of the thickest portion of them. Nap relief will drop you to 0 stress level.
Oops, ignore that last one. That was an incorrect roll. Okay, that's what I needed. Okay, yeah, and Kitchens is like, breathe, and he's helping you take you off, and then he stabs you with nap relief. And both of you immediately are just like, highly addictive nap relief for good reason, because boy, howdy, do you feel good on it. Like, real good on it.
Takes the edge off.
It takes the edge off, and so both of your stress just immediately like poofs down. You almost forget the fact that a xenomorph potentially is going to drop in your ship in seconds, potentially.
I'm gonna remove those from my character sheet.
Okay. Thank you, Kitchens. There's Xenos. I'm gonna make sure everyone else on the ship is locked down, and
are we detached?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna make it out of the way in time for this thing, though. So
Geppetto,
I'm keeping the rest of the suit on.
Geppetto, we are
in case I need to
detached.
go back up.
Shift in orbit immediately.
Shifting into orbit.
Within seconds of you reaching your destination, Barden, these things have followed you the whole way here. As it comes around the back side of the monstro, and the door open that you have programmed as you get close, the monstro shifts forward. You're only 1,000 feet or so from entering, and you're going to miss your point of entry. You're going to have to manually land this thing in the bay. They took off 20, maybe 15 seconds before you would have gotten there, and it'll be enough where you'll be floating in space. And you know what? As you come up and you see it detach and it shifts forward, maybe you just happen to look up, and coming out of the very bottom of this space station, through a organic orifice that has been ripped free by the Xeno, it is like writhing and trying to tear free and drop onto the top of the monstro.
I hate all those words. Especially organic orifice. Yeah, fuck it. Barden's been batting 1,000 for years. He's gonna attempt to pilot this this situation here.
You will need 2 successes because the vessel is moving.
What
and
drugs do I have that? What are my drug capacities here?
Oh boy,
you should have the agility enhancer. I don't know if agility is going to help you in this.
Oh, it is fucking does.
It is the piloting check.
He looks and he there's like a bead of sweat in his suit, which he still has on despite there being air in here. He opens the lid of his suit and just sort of like reaches into the neck and pulls out one of these injector things that not exactly needles, but the pressurized injectors that Kitchens has made. And he just holds his eye open and blasts himself in the eye with this. That gives me +2 agility. +2 agility and -2 stress. which is exactly the number of stress I have. So a 7 agility to make this piloting check.
Don't fuck it up,
Problem
Barden.
is you tank
Oh,
afterwards.
fuck! Yeah! Dude! I live forever!
And as
Holy
it takes
shit!
off, we see Barden in the front seat inject this thing into his eye immediately. It's not even adrenaline as much. It's probably more like liquid, like Adderall. It helps you focus, right? And you just like
100% amphetamine.
Yeah, it's an amphetamine, absolutely. And you kind of come into it, and you're like, "Whoa!" Hands on the steering wheel, drop it out of fucking autopilot. Press the big green button. And the whole thing lurches forward as it comes into the docking bay. At the last second, you remember that you need to put the feet down, and your quick upper body with these fucking drugs, and it slaps the feet down, and they just as you
just hear woo
land
over comms.
Yeah. As you slide in, and the door screams open, and all three of you hear from the comms, Barden, Park, Betsy, a little rough, but successfully with no major damage to the vehicle in the bay. And Monster actually shifts a little bit as she takes on the weight of the ship. And yeah, the hatch is like, it's kind of closing at the moment before it's airtight.
I will immediately go to greet Barden. Especially seeing that the other two seem to be at least okay for the moment.
Question before you go. Did the alien land already? Like, did we know that it landed?
No.
Rin anticipated giving the...
That was its goal, but it has, from all sites so far, it has not ripped clean or free.
Okay. How would
it's going to take, yeah. Barden was the last person to see it, and it wasn't free yet. When you and Vince ran, it wasn't free. But other than that, you have no idea.
So the Monstro wouldn't tell us that something's on the ship?
It would.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm looking now at what y'all have because, yeah.
I think you'd have to know to ask it. So far, it's not been prompted to inform us of anything unless we've asked
Unless you put it into like you can say, hey, please put the vessel into a security mode, and it would then notify you of everything that touches the hull.
Oh, and we're going into lockdown because we know that there's a Xeno, like, literally...
And you did, I would say that you did give
right.
Mother of the Head, or you did give Geppetto the heads up that nothing was to touch the hull, so you would know.
Okay.
She would inform you.
Oh, cool.
I would say that was enough from Kitchens to note that, like, you need to be told when something.
Okay.
The real thing is, and I'm looking here, y'all have no weapons on this. You have a lot of armaments, meaning that it's very
it's
the
tanky.
hull is very tanky.
We
it's
just
gonna
don't
be
have
very
the means.
hard to get. Yeah.
We don't have the means to defend ourselves outside of just flat armor.
Well,
we have spacewalking Rin, who's about to go outside again.
Well, I hate to tell you all this. I rolled for all three of the average Joes, and they each rolled a success. One rolled 3 successes. So when they see it kind of lurch and dock, what you are all unaware of is that the three of them holding on almost near the bottom of this spire see the ship take off, and they launch themselves free of it straight at the massive body of the Monstro. We don't know yet if they've made contact. You will know, be the first to know. But yeah, you're unsure. The Xeno, she has not told you that they've reached the hull.
You know what I bet happens? This is what my brain reads these numbers like. You said one got 3 successes. Because the Monstro is now moving, one of the 3 uses another one of them to change the trajectory of their body and skirts the other one off like into space. That's what my brain is reading is going to happen here.
Vince will go over the comms into where Ace is, or even actually while we're all scrambling to our stations of what we're going to do, we'll actually go to the classroom just to make sure this only
which is
for
probably
Becker.
the mess hall. It's the largest space for convening like this. So she's just in the mess hall teaching the kids.
And I'll have them, because I imagine the mess hall's a big room, I'll instead have her take the kids to a smaller location that can be locked. And
what's wrong?
And Vince will say, some of the stuff from the station might be coming near the ship. We're going to deal with it.
Okay. She says, class, everybody up. Let's never thought I'd say this. Let's go to the armory. And the kids are like, yay! As she kind of wrangles him and she looks back at you with it. I want to say desperate, but a concerned look in her eyes as she rounds the corner to take the kids to the armory.
And Vince, full of calming nap relief, gives her a very confident and assuring nod. And Vince will go to his quarters where he keeps the weapons that he purchased personally, and will grab a couple of them. And then go to wherever would be where we would go spacewalk out onto the hull if possible, but I think is going to try to link up with Rin. I think we're all just
so we basically see you go back to your room to suit up. Rin, what are you up to while he goes to run and tell the kids and everybody, get them in safe?
Well, funny enough, she actually stops by the armory to get something for Reed. And drops off some weapons for him. Says, well, no time like the present. We got a situation, and I'm not asking you to go out there, but if it gets in, do your best.
He kind of looks down as you probably toss him a bunch of gear, a vest and stuff, and he questions for a second what it means to put armor back on and pick up a weapon. And he stands up, and you see him begin to black jacket and all of that on as he grabs the gun and side holsters it. And he nods that he's coming with you. He says, well, I can't just sit here, can I?
Yeah. You always got a choice.
He says, no, not in this situation. He says, plus, I got to hold you to your deal.
Well, then I hope I don't die.
And he kind of smiles at that with the macabre humor, and he takes off kind of behind you. Kitchens, you make it to the docking bay where the Bessie is airing all of the hydraulics out and stuff in this area, and there's some scuffs on the floor, but no major damage, no fires, no electrical anything that probably will have to be worried. And the door opens up to Barden, who comes kind of walking down carrying all this gear in his spacesuit.
Barden looks like the 1940s spaceman, like out of the UFO shaped pods where you just see like the shadow come out, and it's just him in a regular spacesuit, but like has the rifle still slung, still dragging the green bag, has a flamethrower going the opposite way as he slowly down the gangplank into the bay of the Monstro.
I, as Bub, have so many questions I wish that I could ask, but none of that would compute in the mind of Kitchens.
After show.
Yes. Good God, yeah. So he's going to go. I think Kitchens is probably going to see to a brief inspection over his person, his faculties, just sort of an assessment.
Yeah, maybe you scroll a data pad or something, and it's feeding you all the stuff from his pants. He seems in ripe condition, as ripe as Barden can be.
Although his pupils
his
are
adrenaline, his pupils are dilated, and I'm wondering how that would show up on basic medical readout. I mean, he's had and you would see some kind of amphetamine in his system. I'm sure actually this would read out that he took an amphetamine.
Okay. Knowing what amphetamine is on board and it's Barden, I think in a surprise moment he's going to be scanning that data pad. Resulted in use of the drug.
Second time's a charm. I flew.
He has like shark eyes.
Yeah. Oh wait, hold on. I flew the ship. I landed it right in here. You could have seen it. I said, beep boop, wow, and it just took off.
I think he's confused. There's
how
does
an alien.
Well, you know what?
There's an alien. Communicate
there's an alien on the ship, buddy.
The confusion stops immediately.
Buddy, there's an alien on the ship. Well, it's not on the ship. It's like an alien. How do I fucking say this? It's like a alien birthing umbilical cord. Did you guys chop the electrical cables connecting the ship?
Ren and Vince come running in, both suited up, along with Colonial Marine Reed behind.
Fucking aliens just coming out of it.
That's where you like. I imagine that's where you walk in. It's like fucking
and
aliens
you
just
know
coming
what,
out
Rin
of it.
and Vince, that is the perfect description for what you saw above deck.
Mm-hmm.
With fucking
If I wasn't dealing with the
saucer
crisis right
pupils.
now, I would be dealing with you, Barton. I swear.
Same.
You put a scratch on Bessie.
Oh, I flew that thing like a dream. She's never gone so fast.
Why did... No time for this. Okay. We've got a situation forming up above.
Yeah, with the alien and the three dudes.
I'm sorry, the three what?
Oh yeah, there's a couple of synths that are swimming and launching themselves like Spider-Mans across the space.
The synthetic Joes, as we discussed earlier.
Oh, great.
We need to see
They filled them in.
I do not mean to interrupt your conversation, but I wanted to let you know that my efforts without weapons to keep the working Joes off the hull has become obsolete, as 3 of them have attached themselves. 2 of them raked off the surface of the vessel and are now holding on to Shakespeare's sphere. The other one is currently near the forward deck, and he is hanging on, slowly
They got like
pulling away the hull.
They're very strong. One of them crunched the hull of the Sevastopol. And did I mention the alien? Did you mention the alien? Has everyone caught up on the alien?
We need to get
coming
the
out of the
Xeno,
hole?
as you put it. We need to get it onto Shakespeare's sphere and decouple it from everything else while the Joes are still there. As for the forward one, we're going to need to split our efforts.
You can decouple the sphere from here. Oh,
but the alien isn't on it.
Also, to let you know, we have officially reached orbit around the last spire of the Sevastopol.
We need to, if the alien is still trying to crawl its way to the Sevastopol, we don't need to, why do we need to catch it and then shunt it onto Shakespeare's ship? It'll still just be stuck there, right?
Hope so.
I need to see
is the Xeno on the Monstro?
You don't know. The last they saw it, it was not on the Monstro. It was trying to exit the sphere and drop onto the Monstro, but you don't, there has been no notification it actually made it to the hull.
Do we have cameras or some means of seeing?
You're now kind of not near the bottom. You're a ways away, but you could look at some of the exterior cameras and see if you can see it.
Yeah, Vince would like to try to get a visual on where it was coming out from.
There's nothing there.
It's probably on the ship. You do know that,
Is there a hole? Is there an alien-sized hole?
This far out, you can't tell because it's a sphere, right? And it was like the point. You can see the debris that you had pulled away to plug everything in, and you can definitely see that it's obviously not been recovered because y'all didn't recover it. But you don't see a gaping hole in the base of this dome.
Guys, look, about 45 seconds ago, when I was piloting Bessie into here, there was an alien coming out of a tube, like a thick broad shimmying out of a dress.
We were there, Barton.
Oh, okay. Well, I was outside with it, so.
You were outside with it, wanted to shake my hand and then probably eat it.
Right, that's what I was going to say.
That's crazy.
It is. Now it's a problem.
I think we need to decouple Shakespeare's vessel now.
I will stay on comms. If I'm going up top, going outside, and if I can see it, try to lead it off.
You can decouple it from inside, but if you want to take a peep, you're absolutely welcome to. You can go to the containment hold where that same door opens up to the top and you can peep out. You'll have to do a light bit of travel because it's not here.
I'm going to ask that Geppetto scan for biometrics non-native to our existing crew on the Geppetto and the Monstro.
Currently, the only additional body on the Monstro is the single working Joe who is currently trying to tear through the hull.
Can you give us an exact location, Geppetto?
Of course, I will ping it on your map. As for Shakespeare's sphere, 2 working Joes, one has currently expired. But there is another life form, non-native to this vessel.
That's
we need to decouple the sphere. And if Ren, if you're going to go airborne, if you're going to go topside, I think it's time we break out an old season 2 weapon. It was the thing that Bart and I collabed together. It's the launcher, the net launcher that can electrocute.
And
You're gonna have to, if it's on the sphere, you're gonna have to cross to the sphere. Room to capture it within it.
I meant the one that's on our vessel right now that's trying to tear through the
That's
monster
the working
hull.
Joe.
Correct.
Oh, that's the one you want to capture.
You're still in Mother, by the way.
Oh,
That's the one you want to capture.
Correct.
Is the working Joe.
I want to knock it off. If I can stun it with electricity long enough for it to kind of go elsewhere, then that saves us some stress.
Ren, why don't we get your observation check as you slowly creak this hull open?
And Vince is going to input to the command to decouple the
just a quick contact.
No, we're not decoupling yet. That's what
okay.
Said.
Oh, Ren wants to check it before we decouple.
Okay.
Yep. All right, go ahead, Ren. Make the observation.
2.
Okay. As you creak the hole open and you kind of look down the long rest of the end of the monstro, you can see the sphere dragging behind you, which is a pretty normal sight. And on the hull of it is a working Joe that is hanging on as hard as it can with one hand. And you can see a xenomorph standing over top of him. And its tail comes around and punctures him straight through the chest, pulling all of the innards out as they float away into space. And his hand is kind of collapsed into the metal, and his body kind of like without gravity just hangs attached to the exterior. And the Xeno's going to make an observation check. Yes, she is. She looks up just in time for you to basically close the hatch. But you can see it looks like she was trying to she's going to go through the whole of the sphere.
Right.
She's going into the sphere.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Out of character. This is one and only opportunity to do something with a contained Xeno and not have to bring people across to the Sebastopol.
So you come down the hatch. Yeah. Yep. You come down the hatch, and Reed's kind of standing there watching your back as you come out, and he helps you get out of the suit really quick. And Ren, you're able to report back within about 2 minutes, everyone. What's going on?
Yeah, she just over comms. We have to meet and have this discussion quick. We need to be ready to decouple. But Reed, I said and promised that they weren't going to suffer, and I'm going to make sure that they don't. But we have one opportunity to get them into that sphere because the Xeno's on it.
You're going to put them in the sphere with the Xeno? That's not.
They're not going to suffer. That's what you asked.
He kind of looks up at all of you. He kind of nods, yeah, like he doesn't quite understand how you putting them there is going to keep them from suffering, but he trusts you. He's trying to trust you. All of you convene.
Can I also talk to Reed?
Yeah, he's standing right there.
Given the nature and of what I heard in regards to the events between Ace and Reed, that there was some sort of a tussle, and I also recognizing that Ace is pregnant, I'm going to guess that Reed doesn't know that, as it's probably not super common knowledge.
And she's not showing yet.
I am going to... I'm going to inform him that they are under heavy sedation, that their faculties and their sensitivities have been dropped. Feeling pain is out of the current realm of possibility.
So you're just going to deliver them cold storage?
Oh, they will be warm. Their bodies will be warm as an incubation network.
I'm willing to kill a bug, an alien species, but I can't be a part of delivering these people to their deaths. No offense. And he says it to you Kitchens genuinely. He doesn't mean offense by it. Whether he takes it that way is up to you.
Then I think Kitchens would accept and swallow that. This is fine. I anticipated that none others would be a part of this project. I believe it is the only line of defense between humanity and absolute decimation.
Vince will say, Kitchens, are they, how far gone are they? Even if we didn't do this at all right now, is there any coming back for them anyway?
At this point, no. This is why I'm keeping them sedated. The moment they wake and their blood pressure spikes, it will increase the expulsion and the expansion of what is currently infecting their body. They will fall into a deep sleep while it continues to pass and spread into any other organic surfaces.
Okay, so we're going to get them on Shakespeare's ship. That's the plan. And Vince looks at Ren and Kitchens.
It doesn't have to be much of a plan. It seems that the xenomorph has just eaten its way through the hole and is currently inside of the sphere.
Well,
the moment that we...
You're muted.
No.
Oh, not you, Meta.
The moment that we express the germinated individual upon Shakespeare's vessel, they must return to the colony with the body. If we do not wish them to board this vessel, and by them, I am referring to the Space Beast, we must have Shakespeare's vessel near enough to this vestipole that it can return.
Okay.
Okay, then we can take Bessie there, or I will.
I will tell you, because Kitchens would know this, having studied them, it's not going to return. It will start a new nest in whatever its new location is. So you can imagine, even if you give it these bodies, what it's going to do is turn those bodies into new nest eggs and will attempt to do the same thing. It's just about to nest in your sphere.
Mm.
But it probably has no reason to return if it's found a new place to.
This may be our safest route at testing the theory. It's still going to take time to run this test. These people are still deceased. There is no bringing them back from this point. I will have to alter the storage if this is our testing unit, is what follows on Shakespeare's vessel. Our storage must now be converted to a temporary cold location so that it can slow the consistent spread of our fungus.
You can basically change the temperature on the sphere. So just so you know how the sphere is connected currently, there are 4 large airline cables from the back of the monstro at 4 points on the sphere. So it tows it flat.
Sure.
Straight down the center, over time, y'all have created what is basically a walk bridge to come on and off of it. It's sealed on either end, right? Those kinds of things. It's like a tubing walk. And it's only probably, I mean, you have to keep the 2 ships at safe distance, so 200, 250 feet, maybe, right? It's not like a super long walk path because then it's not, there's a little structure there. And so it adds a little bit of structure, and the tube uncouples, and you can pull the tube back and completely keep it from connecting to the monstro with the cable still intact. So you can tow it, isolate it.
That is ideal.
I'm just saying Kitchens would know that. So
Yeah.
Kitchens, you actually could have a somewhat secure
A secure test chamber.
But you would be towing it. There's a lot of risk to it, but this also is actually there's more control in your scientific hypothesis this way.
It's an inconvenience at first, but upon secondary glance, this is suddenly very fortuitous. I'm going to have to revert some of our pressure and control of the air to our own hold, where the remaining men and women are stationed. I must slow that spread there.
Right. Are we just going to have a bunch of Xenos hanging from the back of our ship for the next couple weeks?
I believe it will only be 2. From my understanding, once they have taken to incubation, only a single space beast can free itself from the aborted cavity. From there, the germination should continue unto success.
Basically, all you need is to test it. If it kills them all, it's a success. This is just the final test subject. So, and then in essence, you'd be carrying around a graveyard.
Vince says, and if it doesn't work, then we're carrying a nest of Xenos right behind our ship.
If it doesn't
Well,
work,
we're not going to go anywhere with it.
that is correct. We will expunge. There is nothing that is safe about our current endeavor. But if you wish to see a future for not only yourself, but for Ace, and for those to come. I do not see another means. I do not see another trajectory for success. I am open to ideas, please.
I just don't know if having this experiment hanging off the back of our ship is better than what we were originally planning.
I agree, it is dangerous. But I think when the parameters are met for the success of the germination and incubation, it will not follow through to this vessel. And we can keep watchful eyes and Geppetto informed to alert us if it were to flee from Shakespeare's sphere to this location.
If they're gone anyway, and Vince sort of looks in whichever cardinal direction the human experiments are, Vince will say, I'd rather we stick to our original plan. That's my vote. But
and do you wish for us to abandon Shakespeare's vessel?
I do.
Then to the others. This is a group decision. It is a democracy.
I'll go with what the group decides.
We'll stay on Bessie with Shakespeare's sphere during the incubation period. That way the monster is safe, and we don't risk any more people getting onto this festival.
Pardon.
I zoned out there for a minute as the drugs started to wear off, but I had a flash of what I imagine. It's probably not the best term to use this, but I thought it would be a really cool idea. Is that if you used the sphere as an incubation pod and it was successful, and then you just sort of whiplash, slingshot the sphere into Sevastopol, and then you have a functional, zombie alien hatchery that infects the rest of Sevastopol. Thought that'd be pretty cool. I haven't worked out the scientific details because my head's a bit of a fog right now because I had eyeball drugs injected into my eyeball. But that's the long and short of it. So I think I'm on board of what I grasped at the time.
I do not mean to add to the stress of the situation, but it does seem that the Working Joe has made its way on board.
Oh, yeah, there's a robot on the ship.
I'll take care of it. And
I'll go with you, Reed says.
I'll equip Vince with this net, this electrical net.
Okay.
I believe, Vince, that this should dim his capabilities briefly. It should not shut them down, but it should delay his inevitable motion.
You need a gun, kid? I
already have one. I hold up a scope rifle that I have.
All right.
You only get one shot because it's a bitch to reload, but you still get one shot with it.
What is it?
The net gun.
It's a net gun, but it's the electrical net gun.
The electrical net gun, yes.
The one we pinned Zeno with.
I was about to say, the one actual effect that they are not immune to is electricity. Very smart. Net gun in hand, Reed behind you. Do you come with them, Ren?
For the record, we only have 2 shots of that thing left, unless we want to make more.
Well, maybe I'm not clear, but was Vince okay with Friend's proposal?
The Working Joe is on board. Reed is going to help. Oh, okay.
I think Vince was okay for the brief run, but inevitably it's got to go.
The plan with the Shakespeare thing, yes. We had the group vote, and
I just wanted to make sure
Vince was outvoted, and he's like, "Yeah, let's do it."
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Bryn's gonna go with, but over comms, go back to kitchens and with Barton staying behind, I don't know, but basically asking them to prepare Bessie to effectively be the toe for Shakespeare's sphere.
I'm also going to ping to Geppetto to keep us clear on the motion and movement of the biometrics that are non-native to the Monstro. I would like to know where they're at all times.
Of course, it seems that the xenomorph has stayed aboard the sphere, though it has a great amount of movement on the inside.
And the Working Joe?
The Working Joe is currently in the forward of the vessel, near the bridge.
That's bad news.
Vince is running.
Yeah, Reed picks up behind you as soon as you hear that. I imagine Rin as well.
Yeah.
And the party splits momentarily. And as we see just a shot of your boots squeaking on the floor as the three of you run towards the bridge, you can't miss him. Just before passing through the hallway that leads to the bridge, you see his back. His grayish, plastic, synthetic skin, and his jumpsuit that is heavily worn. And you can see that there are pieces of his arm, just his cover simply missing, wear and tear, age, who knows? But he kind of stands upright at a hunched angle as if maybe he's been injured to some degree, and does not know you're there. He's heading into the bridge.
Okay. Vince will level this net gun at him. I'll also say that Vince did also spend the last 7 days researching how to combat artificial persons. And I don't know if that would help me.
Are you just taking a shot?
And if there's ever a time.
I think, yeah, I'm taking a shot with the net gun at this thing. You know, if this net gun just captures it and incapacitates it, I guess my research on how to actually dispatch one will come in later. But
yeah,
I just
absolutely.
need to take a shot. So yeah,
if that's what you want to do, you can take a shot with because Reed's going to take a shot too.
Okay.
And Rin's with him best, so.
Great. I don't know does that mean Rin gets a shot too?
Yeah, all three of you basically get a surprise round because his back is to you. He's headed into the. Let me pull up Reed's stats here.
What the stats would be for this weapon? Should I
just make a ranged combat roll to start?
Okay. Well, let's see. When I want to do that, it under weapons, there's like the different weapons are listed, and it says attack. So am I attacking with?
Yes, you are.
Weapon? Okay, but so
the attack button in the character sheet will do ranged combat plus whatever bonus the gun itself has.
Yeah, the gun itself has.
I don't know that we actually statted out the gun.
We didn't. We always statted was if it hits, it's considered a stun effect.
A stun effect is what it is. Yeah.
So it might have no bonus,
no damage. Okay, great.
Because the incinerator also has no bonus.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't have a bonus, so it'll just be your flat.
Medium. Okay, I'll make a ranged,
short range.
Medium. Okay, short ranged combat attack. Here we go. No modifiers. Okay, 1 success.
1 is what you need, and it wraps around this Joe, and the electricity goes off. And he is stunned for the turn. Reed is going to actually. I'm going to say you can take a +1 to your attack meta because he's stunned. He can't. There's no fighting it, in essence, for he will be stunned for this round. Reed misses. The shotgun fires off, but he is so surprised by what he sees that he takes a point of stress and misshoots, and the shotgun lets off into the wall next to him. Holy
nice.
Fuck. Now, I will say it's not going to affect it based on the way the die's laid out, but technically that is a scope rifle. Is that on like a...
It's got an optical
scope on it. It's just a scope. It's not an actual like sniper weapon. Got it. Okay. Yeah, 3. Do you want to do 3 additional damage or 2 additional damage for your extra successes?
Sure, I would love that.
So the one
if it is scoped, is there a way to go for the head? Is that is that even a thing in this game? I don't think it's a thing.
It's not.
It's not.
If you get a critical, you can do like specific things.
Gotcha.
In this case, it's a hit. It does 2 additional damage. So how much damage does the actual gun do? 2?
Base damage is 2. Yep.
So in this case, you do 4 total damage, and you see as it blows through his chest, a hole kind of comes out the other side of the net, but it damages the net. And the net kind of and sparks free. He loses his turn, and you all get another one, but you can see he's going to leave this net behind. In fact, you actually hear him say, he turns around, and he just simply says,
"You shouldn't be here."
Oh, God. Okay.
Oh, also, both of you can take a point of stress for witnessing a working Joe
Great.
not working as expected.
Okay, Vince is going to pull out his scope rifle and take a shot.
Okay. Go ahead and take another shot.
Okay.
He doesn't need much.
Okay, 3 successes.
That is enough. The second shot fires off into his head, I imagine. As his head blows back. I didn't even get to Joe with the word get Joe. And his body kind of and it kind of falls to the ground. And in his last words, he kind of says,
You always know, dude.
and it kind of pans out as he says the literal tagline for selling the working Joe. And his body goes, and his eyes go dead, and his body kind of lays there. And you can see to your left is a hull door that has closed shut because he ripped through the hull. There's a piece of the ship venting out, basically, and that door has like the emergency red lights, and you can tell it's got the lock in place, so people don't go that way.
I think we're gonna have to ask Ben to help fix the ship hull now. He's gonna be real mad.
And the camera cuts to Barden and Kitchens, left alone once again, with the bodies to your left. And Mother probably tells you,
the working Joe has been deactivated. It seems that Rin and her crew were successful.
Oh, great. That's good. That's one less problem. Okay. I think I have everything sorted out, but remind me again, we're gonna take these the mushroom people and we're gonna bring them to the sphere and feed them to the alien. Is that what I was getting there?
Yes, pardon.
Okay, great. Okay. I just want to make sure. I was a little in and out of that. Those drugs are a fucking doozy, my guy.
what is the negative effect coming down off of it?
You regain all of your stress plus 1 additional stress.
Yeah.
So
Great, perfect.
I'm up to 3 now.
Great. The good news is Kitchens is a much easier walk. Single 250 feet to drop them off, 250 feet back should be easy.
I will board the body on a medical transport table.
The first body?
Yep, just the one. I'll make sure that the drugs that I've been using are starting to stabilize. In order for them to come to full effect, they will need to reach a certain temperature. So,
Just make a medical aid check to successfully go through the process of thawing these people out and setting them in a stasis.
Yeah.
I'll give you a help action on that. Barden's trained in that too.
Okay. I'll add, was it 1? Just 1 for it? Okay. I've got a lot of dice for this.
Never hurts.
1 was all I needed.
1 success is all you need. And maybe it's just your nerves. Maybe it's, I don't know, Kitchens. Maybe it's just you being a little off. But 1 success is enough, but it takes you a little bit. It's not really hesitation. You don't know why you're so very concerned. But as the first body is prepped and you and Barden roll it down to the entry door, the circular door that leads onto the tunnel that goes to the sphere, all you can think is in your mind is how much easier it might be if you just let the Xeno onto this ship. It'd have fresh meat to build a nest, uninfected. It'd have the infected ones already thawing out. And you could not just have one small area to test your theory. You could have a whole ship. Maybe you shake it off as you go to open the door, and we hear the hydraulics in the air restabilize.
A static patch test is safer.
Yeah, and maybe you say that out loud, and Barden, you're like, the fuck is he talking about? But in Kitchen's mind, there's definitely the consideration that it just might be easier. But Kitchens, you never take the easy way. Neither does this crew. And the camera cuts inside the sphere. We see kind of the camera pan round the space as you can see valuables and collectibles and things that are never going to be made again from old Earth have been destroyed. slices through old paintings, entire areas tipped over, cassettes, video CDs, glass things crushed, valuables lost, jewels spilled on the floor. And in the center of the room is a xenomorph. As it kind of arches its back and clicks and takes the room in, it begins to make its nest, vomiting up a bile, viscous-like matter that begins to seed its way into making this space the most ideal it can be. And as it begins this process, it stops and it looks up as if it heard something, like a hunting dog, and it looks right to the circular door. Unopened, but it can hear Kitchens and Barden 250 feet at the other end of a walk path, waiting to deliver its first meal. And tonight we will end there for episode 4, because we have to come back and find out what y'all are going to do next week.
We live to see another day, everybody.
Barely. I really hope I didn't roll well for the working Joes. I was
Barely.
really hoping I got all 3 on board, because I would have been real super duper fucked. But I only got 1. I rolled for it. But I did get a Xeno in the mix.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, this is gonna be an after show. Speaking of after shows, guys, if you like this channel and you want to support us, the best way to do it is over on our Patreon, where you can get access to our exclusive behind the scenes after shows. To include this one and all of the other shows for the past several years are on there. You get behind the scenes exclusive looks at our mindset into our characters, and some of the GM's mindsets into what their plots are, and other cool random tangents and diatribes as we delve into these worlds and their lore. So go check that out. But before we do that, let's do our introductions and get the hell out of here so we can talk about what the hell just happened. Let's start with Meta. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
Hello, I'm Metamancer, and you can find me on this channel and on Discord occasionally, doing TTRPG things. That's it.
Hell freaking yeah. Let's jump right over to Zach. Zach, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
Hello, I am Zach. I am on this channel, of course. I am also on the Arvin Elleron channel often for the Our Vocalists, which is a voice acting video game stream, as well as Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks, which is a D&D and sci-fi Esper Genesis campaign. And then on my own Twitch channel, twitch.tv/ZachClay, where I'm playing Divinity Original Sin with my friend Maddie. And then my website, ZachClay.com, where you can hire me to run D&D games for you. And lots of D&D, as I am a professional DM. It is so much all the time. And that's me.
Hell freaking yeah. And let's jump over to Bub. Bub, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
I do many of the things that everyone else has mentioned thus far, except my name is Bub. That's really the difference in so many ways. You can find me everywhere as Bub Talks. Just do that. That's all.
Fair enough. And last but not least, Dot, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
Hello, friends. I am Dot. You can find me online as Little Red Dot. I spend my days with Cobalt Press, and I spend my nights playing and making and doing all kinds of tabletop stuff. I think this week I'm going to plug 2 things. One, Bub undermined the fact that we have a great podcast network together, and we just did a 2-shot of the Fallout show, Winter of Adam, and he played another robot. This time a Mr. Handy unit, the handiest of the handies, especially if you need your hair trimmed in the Commonwealth. So you should check it out. You can go Pod by Night and do that. But the second thing I'll plug is actually a Kickstarter that will be closing soon. But if you like my GM style, I'm actually picking up and doing some writing. So I wrote on Winter of Adam, but I'm also writing on an adventure with Mr. Trask. You can check it out over on Kickstarter. It closes in a couple days. And it is meant to be like a 5e and Tales of the Valiant fantasy adventure. It's all about dwarves and cold mountains and something called the Dragon Flower.
Very cool.
Go. So you check that out.
Yeah, hell yeah. Go check out everybody's respective everywhere. Find them on the socials. Find them on their websites. But that is it from us. We will see you next week for the penultimate episode of the series finale. So you don't want to miss that one. You don't want to miss the next two. But that's it from all of us to you. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.